Hello everybody, today we are going to be ranking every Breaking Bad season finale from worst to first. Before we get into it though, you should definitely subscribe. I'm just starting out on YouTube and I would appreciate it a lot. I have goals of being big on YouTube one day. Also, just a side thing I want to talk about, I just dropped a video on Revenge of the Sith if you're into Star Wars. I loved making that video, I loved that video, but it absolutely flopped. So if you want to check that out after this video, I would appreciate it a lot. Okay, enough yapping. If you liked the video, you should subscribe, and let's get into the ranking. I want to mention two things first, though. I know I said I'd stop yapping, but I feel like I need to mention them. Just because I rank a finale low does not make it bad. I don't think there's a single bad finale for Breaking Bad. And another thing, we're going to be including Season 5, Episode 8 as a finale because there's a whole, year break in between. And most people genuinely consider the first half of season 5 and the second half. Oh my god, I cannot talk. Most people genuinely consider the first half of season 5 and the second half of season 5 to be two different seasons. There we go, got it that time. Okay, now I'm done yapping. Let's get into the ranking. In last place, we have season 1, episode 7, a no rough stuff type deal. Now, it is just a good episode. There's nothing wrong with it, but it is nothing compared to the other ones coming up. I'm not gonna lie though, the barrel heist scene is pretty cool. That scene's really good. It's a barrel. It rolls. And the infamous Tuco dealing scene where he beats his own partner to death for meat riding him too hard. So it's a pretty good episode. I'd probably give it like an 8 out of 10. The only reason it's last is because the other 5 we're gonna talk about are absolute masterpieces. Next two, I was stressing over ranking because I legitimately don't know which one I would put over the other. But I eventually settled with that number 5. We have the season 5, episode 8, mid-season finale, Gliding Overall, where Hank finds out Walt is Heisenberg. Now, most people would probably rank this higher, but I feel like the other finales are better as finales. But this specific episode is still a masterpiece because it is the moment that we have been waiting for the whole series, where Hank finds out that Walt is actually Heisenberg. Now, the more I think about it, the more I think I should probably rank this higher. But just let it be known that this episode is amazing. But it is not technically a finale, even though we are including it as one. So I don't really want to put it above the next one on the list, because I really love that one too. All these finales for the rest of the video are masterpieces. Gliding Overall is a masterpiece. But I don't think it's as good as some of the other ones coming up later, although I would give it like a 9 out of 10. It's one of the best Breaking Bad episodes. So at number 4, we have an episode that was much better than I remembered it being, and that's ABQ. I'm not gonna lie, this episode might be a contender for the saddest episode in all of Breaking Bad, and that's saying something. Because obviously Jesse loses Jane, and he's dealing with the trauma from that. And then Jane's dad eventually causes the death of over 200 people. And so that's weighing on the guilt of both Jesse and Walt, because Walt secretly broke in and kind of made Jane's death happen. Also in this episode, we're introduced to one of the best Breaking Bad characters, Mike Ehrmantraut. Also, this episode probably has the highest kill count of any Breaking Bad episode, by quite a wide margin. After further research, it wasn't over 200 people, but it was still 167 people that died in one episode. So yeah, ABQ is actually a pretty underrated episode. I don't feel like people really put it in the conversation of best finales, but I think it's definitely up there. It's in the top 4, obviously. Now we're entering the top 3. Keep in mind, all of these next episodes are 10 out of 10. These are some of the best episodes in Breaking Bad. As you've probably figured out with the picture, number 3 is Full Measure from the season 3 finale. Now, Full Measure legitimately might be one of my favorite episodes in all of Breaking Bad. And R.I.P. Gale in the comments section. He had to go, but I absolutely love Gale. Also, this is really the first episode we kind of view Gus as the main villain to Walter. Because before this, Gus and Walt actually had a pretty good relationship. It was mainly Jesse that Gus hated. But the best part of the episode is like the final, 10-20 minutes, whenever Walt and Victor have to kill Walt with Gus's orders, but Walt outsmarts him and leads to Jesse killing Gale. In the 3-episode run with Half Measure, Full Measure, and then Box Cutter, one of the best 3-episode runs in history. Straight up, in history. Okay, now the final two. I feel like everybody that clicked on this video knew it was going to come between these 2 episodes. So, which episode is going at number 2? So, the number 2 best finale in Breaking Bad is Face Off. Face Off is the ultimate cat and mouse episode with Walter and Gus. Gus is trying to find a way to kill Walt without losing Jesse, and Walt's trying to find a way to kill Gus before Gus kills Walt. That's oversimplifying it a lot, obviously. This whole episode leads to the climax with Hector and Gus. Also, most people talk about just Gus's death, but Hector's death, what a great way to go out. I think it was the best way Hector could have possibly gone out. But yeah, Gus's death is probably one of the coolest deaths, if not the coolest death, in the whole Breaking Bad franchise. Also, the Breaking Bad crew didn't know if Season 5 was going to exist, so they wanted to create a satisfying conclusion that if Season 4 was the last season, then fans would be pleased, but Hank would have never found out that Walt was Heisenberg, and we would never get to see Walt in the boss position. But other than that, it would have been fine. Like, the first time I was watching Face Off, I was like, this feels like a series finale instead of a season finale. But it's just a season finale, obviously. I mean, Captain Obvious over here. Also, I have to mention the insane plot twist at the end. Okay, now it's time for the number 1 ranking. And with process of elimination, you've determined that the best season finale of Breaking Bad is Fly, baby! Yeah! Alright, it's Felina. We all knew it before we clicked on the video. Felina, in my opinion, is the best episode in Breaking Bad. And I love how Walt didn't technically have a good ending, but he had a fulfilling ending. He tied up all the loose ends. He had the chance to say goodbye to his wife and daughter. He looked on his son for the last time. He saved Jesse and killed all the Nazi guys. A lot of people complain that everything went too perfectly for Walt, but I think you're just hating. I think it was perfect. Walt didn't have a good ending. He had a fulfilling ending. He had an ending that was a little better than what he deserved, if we're being honest. He died. Everybody he loved hates him. But at the end, he saved Jesse, he avenged Hank, and he felt satisfied. So yeah, Felina is the best finale in any season of Breaking Bad. That's going to be the end of the video. If you liked it, you should definitely subscribe. I had a lot of fun making it, and the videos are just going to get better from here.